Alright, hey guys, this is Melodious CCG back in the video. This we're going to be going over the new Melodious support, and we're going to see if it's any good. So here we have Refrain the Melodious Songstress. It's a level 4 light fairy pendulum effect monster with a pendulum skill of 1. So its pendulum effect here is that you can target one Melodious fusion monster you control. You can send one Melodious monster from your deck to the grave, and if you do, the targeted monster gains attack equal to the sent monster's level times 200 until the end of this turn. There's a little pendulum effect here just to beef up your monsters, but not only that, it works as a foolish burial, so if there's a Melodious monster that's actually able to utilize an effect in the grave, then this is a great way of taking advantage of this effect. And here for the monster effect, we have the first effect, which is if this card is normal or special summon, you can add one Melodious monster from your deck to your hand, except for this card. So that's always good to see. We want to have that searchability, that flexibility, and being able to normal or special summon this card to search out a Melodious monster is always good. And if a Melodious fusion monster is special summoned to your field while this card is face up in your extra deck, you can place this card in your pendulum zone. So that's great. So it's just a bit of a way to just recycle this material and just have more access to your pendulum cards. So let's go to the next monster. So here we have Couplet, the Melodious Songstress. It's a level 5 light fairy pendulum effect monster with the pendulum skill of 9. So it's going to be the one that couples with this one, of course. And the first pendulum effect here is that you cannot pendulum summon monsters except for light monsters. This effect cannot be negated, so that's fine. You're obviously only going to be summoning light monsters anyways using this deck. And if you control no face-up non-melodious monsters, you can add one Melodious spell or trap from your deck to your hand. So that's perfect. You can use this as a spell and trap search. And since we have something like this Melodious monster that's able to search out Melodious monsters, then that can be decent. The only thing with this one is that you do need to control no face-up non-Melodious monsters, so you have to make sure you do that before you start getting out the generic link monsters. That's pretty decent, just being able to search out a Melodious spell or trap. Then if this card is added to your hand, except by drawing it for your normal draw, you can reveal it, special summon one level 4 or lower Melodious monster from your hand or graveyard. So you can see a little bit of a combo here, as you can summon out Refrain the Melodious Songstress, uses the effect here to search out a Melodious monster. And the one that you can search out is obviously this card. And when this card is searched out, so if this card is added to your hand except by drawing it, you can reveal it. You can reveal it, special summon one level 4 or lower Melodious monster from your hand or grave. So that's a great way to just get 3 monsters on the board pretty easily just with the 1-card combo here. And if a Melodious fusion monster is special summoned to your field while this card is face up in your extra deck, you can place this card in your pendulum zone. So it's the same effect as this guy here. And basically, if you're going to get a fusion monster out, you get to recycle these cards. So here we have the first fusion monster, which is Spectacular Batch, the Melodious Maestra. So it's a level 7 light fairy fusion effect monster. It requires 2 Melodious monsters, of course. And if this card is special summoned, you can special summon one Melodious monster from your deck. So that's a really strong Melodious effect here. Being able to special summon this out, it's not, and not only that, it's not when it's fusion summon, it's anytime you special summon it out. So that can be really great value that you can get out of this card, even when it's sent to the grave. Bringing it back in order to bring out a Melodious monster from your deck is extremely powerful. And your Melodious fusion monster's activated effects cannot be negated while you control this fusion summon card. So that's great. If you have other Melodious fusion monsters out, this is going to be powerful to have in tandem with this card, just because your opponent obviously is going to be able to set up any negates against your board here. And if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one Melodious monster in your graveyard, special summon it in defense position. So not only would this card provide value when it's special summoned once again from the grave, but when it's sent to the grave, we can actually use it to special summon a Melodious monster out. So this card just provides a lot of value and very easy to summon out. So it's a great like mid-range fusion monster for the deck. And here we have Flowering Atole, the Melodious Floral Song Goddess. So it's a level 8 light fairy fusion effect monster. It requires 1 Melodious Maestra monster plus 2 Melodious monsters. So we're going to be fusion summoning out using this Melodious Maestra here. Quick effect, you can banish any number of Melodious monsters you control until the end phase. Then you can return up to that many face-up cards your opponent controls to the hand. From my understanding, Melodious usually likes to pump out a bunch of little monsters out. And you're going to be getting these monsters out on the board. Pop a bunch of things back to your opponent's hand. And then you'll get those cards back and still have their relevant effects when they're on the field. So it's a very powerful effect, and it's a quick effect as well. So that's going to be annoying for your opponent to have to deal with cards that are just being bounced back. And if this face-up fusion summon card in its owner's control leaves the field by your opponent, you can special summon one Melodious monster from your deck or extra deck, except for Flowering Atole, the Melodious Grand Choir. So except for that card. So that's pretty great. Just you're going to be using this card if it gets removed, just like this Melodious fusion monster that has an effect if it's sent to the graveyard. This one just in general if it leaves the field, which is obviously there's more freedom for that in case they happen to banish this card. You're going to still be able to use this effect here, bring out another Melodious monster,
and it'll just make sure you're still a bit in the game here. And here's the final card. So this is Melodious Concerto. It's a normal spell card. This is gonna be the fusion spell of the deck, or the fusion spell that's gonna be for like this new support. So this is fusion summon one fairy fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand, field, and/or pendulum zone as material. So that's great because you're gonna actually be able to utilize these cards really easily. These two new pendulum monsters that have really great effects that work with one another. And if a Melodious Fusion monster is sent to the graveyard while this card is there, even during the damage step, you can place this card at the bottom of the deck, then draw a card. So it's just a little bit of draw power built in, and that's always good to see in a fusion card, just to make sure that you have ways to just get more material into your hand. But what do you guys think about the new support? It seems pretty decent. I think it's going to be fun to play around with. I'm definitely going to test it out. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.